Big cities are falling out of fashion. For decades and decades, many Americans had to make their home in cities just to earn a living. In the last few years, more of us are waking up and realizing if we could swing it, there could be a better life in a small town. Most of the time, you'll find small towns have less crime, better schools, a lower cost of living, and affordable real estate. Before you do, stop typing. Sure, you have small towns near lakes, ski resorts, and the ocean that are very expensive, but those are few and far between. This country is filled with great small towns that are affordable and nice. This is a new series I've been planning since about the beginning of the pandemic. I want to profile small towns in America. This is just the first video in the series, and it's sort of a rough cut of what I want it to be. I'd like to interview locals in future episodes, things like that. Small towns in America offer different vibes. You might not want to buy a home in any of these, but that doesn't mean you can't take a weekend trip and have some fun, have some lunch, meet some people, and maybe change your mind about living there. Today I drove out to Carlton, Oregon. You've been looking at the drive out. Carlton is in wine country, about an hour southwest of Portland and about 30 minutes away from my home. Carlton is a city in Yamhill County, Oregon, with a population of a little over 2,000. That was in the 2020 census. Might be a little bit more now. I heard some people have been moving in there. This town started off as a stagecoach stop with a blacksmith and, place to water the horses, but eventually a train station showed up and a train, obviously, and the city was growing. It is surrounded by farms and vineyards with the North Yamhill River flowing just west of downtown. In case you don't know, this is on the western side of Oregon. The eastern side is more brown than green. So this is one of the residential neighborhoods of Carlton, and they're all fairly similar to this one. Not like they have a bunch of neighborhoods to choose from. But typical homes here start around $300,000 and work their way up to about $450,000. And of course, you're gonna have some really nice ones that get into the $600,000 to $700,000 areas. These are decent neighborhoods. The schools are ranked pretty good. They get a B-, which is not too shabby. And the crime rate gets an A+. 38% below the national average. That's not bad. Their violent crime rate is 100% below the national average. The actual downtown Main Street is really about 3 blocks long, and there's a very unique thing about this town. It is filled with wine places. You know, they got all these vineyards around here, and a lot of them have like little restaurants and tasting rooms. If you want to do wine tasting, you could do a lot of it right here. You don't have to go to each individual vineyard. They got one really cool one called Ken Wright Cellars. They took over the old train station and turned it into like a winery place. Ken Wright Cellars, that is a pretty cool building. You know, it looks like it used to be a train station, and I bet it is. Bet that's exactly what's going on with this one. Me and my wife ate at Barrel 47. It's not a wine place, it's like a pub. They have really good food. It used to be a bank. They got this really cool door. Look at that thing. The inside of this place, very rustic and really cool. Right here I walked up and down Main Street. Like I said, not that big, it's a couple blocks. And you notice there's just nothing but wine places all over this town. It's like Grape Central. So I didn't know this when I first moved to Oregon, but the Willamette Valley is one of the best wine areas in the nation. I always thought Napa and things like that, and I thought Napa was the end-all be-all, but apparently the Willamette Valley is right up there with Napa. I'd say almost. Napa is like the pinnacle, but they're pretty close. Finger Lakes region of New York, I understand, is really good too. I'm not a wine guy, but still. So that was Carlton, Oregon. It's a pretty interesting little town. I kind of like it. It might be worth a look if you're in the area and you're looking for a small town. Now, like I said, this is the first in a series. We're going to be doing these, and I'm hoping to travel all around the country, not just Oregon and Washington. I did stop at Yamhill, Oregon on the way back. Thought I'd, make it 2 small towns in one day. It's just down the road about 15 minutes. And this is what I found out about Yamhill. I'm in downtown Yamhill, Oregon. There's nothing to see here, folks. Move along.